FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, and today is June 13th, 2017. And, well, metals prices been all over the place, but something is going on in the precious metals markets. Let's find out right now from Andy Schectman, who is CEO of Miles Franklin. You find them at milesfranklin.com. Make sure you subscribe to their newsletter. That is absolute must reading for those of you involved in precious metals and those of you who just care about the economy and you want an idea of what's going on. And you can send myself or Andy an email at kl@kerrylutz.com. Answer all questions. And Andy, welcome back to the show.
Good to be here, Kerry. I appreciate it. Yeah, the newsletter is something that we're very proud of. Andy Hoffman, who's a regular on your show, is prolific. He's tireless, and he talks about what's happening in the world in ways that most people can't believe he's able to do 5 days a week, myself included.
I can't. He is the most prolific financial writer in any sector that I've ever met, which is why I connected with him so long ago and why we do these shows, you know?
I'll tell you, I couldn't agree more, Kerry. And one of the reasons that I hired Andy is because he's one of the most genuine people you'll ever meet, in the respect that if you give him a call and chat with him on the phone for 30 minutes, it's the exact same person that's writing this prolific newsletter every day. There's no difference, and so he wears his craft and his emotions on his shirt sleeve. So we're very proud to have him, and I think he does a great service in shedding a light on a lot of things that are hard to find. He condenses things very well, so I appreciate the plug on the newsletter.
Hey, always, and I think if you're interested in the real economy, what's really happening, you get, like you said, you get information there that you just can't find elsewhere. And that's what makes it so special. Anyways, so talking with you, you say there's strange ruminations coming from the precious metals markets? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we can look from a mile above and look at the strange movements in the price of precious metals, whether it be platinum hitting its all-time low ever. As it is relative to gold, looking at the relationship between platinum and palladium, almost the exact same price. I mean, these are anomalies that we've never seen before. Seeing the gold and silver ratio at 72-1, those types of discrepancies in ratio, in historical ratios, to me, first and foremost, represent an opportunity. The term regression to the mean, the statistical term that basically says the further away you get from historical averages, long-term historical averages, the greater the magneticism or likelihood that pulls you back to the mean or to the average. When I look back over the years, the 28 years I've been doing this, Kerry, the things that have made me successful, the calls that have made me successful, have largely centered around noticing anomalies in the marketplace, whether it be numismatics priced too high or too low, or silver relative to gold being too cheap, or whatever it may be. These are typically short-term anomalies that change very quickly as other people in the industry and in the world notice the price discrepancies. Well, typically that's where it ends. When I talk to people about opportunities or discrepancies, it's typically related to price. What we're seeing right now, even more so than that, is a strange goings on in the actual physical markets as well. I am seeing prices on things that we've been selling for almost 3 decades so far askew from what they normally are that I just can't help but think that there's opportunity to be found. Case in point, example would be numismatic gold coins, $20 gold pieces. The knock against buying numismatic gold coins is that you end up paying more in premium than you do in gold content. And I'm a big believer in, as Richard Russell said, in the end, it's about the number of ounces that you own. So when we acquire gold, it's not about profit. It's about accumulating wealth, and the number of ounces. The more ounces you have, the more wealth you have. And I don't look at it as a profit generator. I look at it as a wealth accumulator. Well, if you look at things that way, buying numismatic coins, which, again, the term numismatic pretty much meaning value in and above gold content or silver content or metal content, then you're foregoing the number of ounces, and therefore you're perhaps hindering your wealth accumulation. Well, right now, for the first time that I've ever seen in 28 years, you can buy uncirculated, certified $20 gold pieces that in 2008 were trading at a 50 to 70% premium above gold spot for the same price as gold eagles. I have never been able to say that ever in 28 years, ever.
So just
you're able to buy junk. I'm sorry?
Just the premium that you would pay, the premium you would pay for bullion, you can buy numismatic coins?
Yeah, really? Which has never, ever had. Not just any numismatic. Mint State 62, for your knowledgeable listeners in this area, and for those who don't know, Mint State means uncirculated. Right. And these coins, these $20 Liberties haven't been made since 1907. So typically when you buy some, you're getting coins from the late 1890s and 1880s and early 1900s that are uncirculated and 3 grades up from the first grade of uncirculated, which starts at Mint State 60, goes to MS 70 by ones. When you talk about those old coins, anything above MS 67 or 8, you might find in the Smithsonian. So, it's not like modern minted coins. These are old coins. Their value typically was based upon their scarcity or their rarity or the potential that they offered because of their protection from confiscation and their enhanced potential. So through the years, our clients would accumulate them for various reasons, but largely centered around safety from confiscation, no dealer reporting, and upside potential enhancement. But that always came with a price. Right now, there is none. I mean, it's almost spooky in the respect that I'll put it to you this way. 10 times out of 10, if I had to choose for myself personally, I would buy a Mint State 62 $20 gold piece uncirculated over a U.S. Gold Eagle 10 times out of 10. There are a myriad of reasons to do so at no opportunity cost, which is something I've never been able to say. The same thing rolls over into things like junk silver, 90% bags. For the last since Obama was president, really, the premiums on those bags have been really high. In fact, over the last few years, higher than 1 ounce premium coins in a lot of times. Right now, you can buy bags of junk silver for the lowest premium I've ever seen in 28 years. And so
really,
there are real opportunities out there that were not here the last few years.
That's remarkable. I just can't believe that you're getting numismatics with no premium and silver with like a minimal premium. I've seen it before where the junk can actually go below its silver value, but that is so rare, and that almost always signifies a move, right? When you see that.
Well, the typically you'll see junk going below it. I used to see that a long time ago. That was typically, what the dealers would pay. They would buy them back at below melt because it was symbolic of it being a pain in the butt. Yeah. That the dealers didn't want to hold them. They didn't want to accumulate them. They were cumbersome, and no one really was buying them, and hence the name junk silver. Right. Got a bad rap because the last few years, in fact, not more than a year ago, I was telling all of my readers and all of my listeners and clients to sell their junk silver in favor of 1 ounce kangaroos and maple leafs because the premiums were so high that you were able to actually get more silver for it. That was another anomaly that I noticed that briefly, actually was a little bit longer than briefly, lasted almost 2-3 years. The premiums on junk silver got really, really, really high because it offers flexibility not found anywhere else in terms of barterability and what have you. And, the bottom line is simply this, that markets, whether it be the real market in terms of spot price or things that are being accumulated, like physicals. Oftentimes, they will generate interest and move through fair value to overvaluation. And we saw that in 2008 with numismatics. As the $20 gold piece, I was flying all around the country telling people to sell their numismatics and to switch into gold bullion because the premiums had gotten so high prior to Obama taking office, and actually for the first year and a half of his presidency, parabolically high. And perhaps the perceived threat of confiscation permeated into the collective psyche to the point where we were seeing 50, 60, 70% premium above spot on common date certified uncirculated $20 gold pieces, and as is the case with most markets throughout all of time. They move through fair value. People get interested. The larger public begins to jump on board. The premiums or the prices move through fair value to overvaluation, and that's when I told everyone it's time to switch out. And then, as things typically do, we went through back through fair value through a correction to where we are now, undervaluation across the board, unlike anything I've ever seen. And always, when you look at people or websites that talk about buying gold bullion in favor of numismatics, and I've been someone really, over the last decade, someone who really deep down at heart loves numismatic coins, Gary, right, but have told people for over the last decade that they're not a good buy because of the high premiums. Well, as typically is the case, we see markets move through the corrective phase to undervaluation, where we are right now, a severe undervaluation. And really, the one knock against buying numismatics when you go to these websites will be that don't buy numismatics. You're paying too high of a price. You're not getting enough gold. You're paying a premium. You're enriching the companies that are selling them. And in many cases, that's true. But here, right now, at buying them at the same price as a Gold Eagle, two things can be certain. Number one, you're not enriching the companies buying them because the premiums are fair, and the prices that you're paying for them are historically low as it relates to buying gold bullion. Bottom line is this: is that I look at it as, in terms of gold, as good of an opportunity to acquire real wealth that has fantastic upside potential, as good of a buying opportunity as I've ever seen in 28 years. And I truly do mean that. And I don't say it flippantly, because you're buying things well below what they were selling for in 25-year bear market averages. So at this point in the game where the fundamentals are where they are, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you could do an arbitrage where I guess you could buy the numismatics and sell the bullion coins, you could lock in a profit, right? But obviously,
well, that's stuff that we do all the time, and that's a swap. And swaps are the best types of transactions because it allows people, like for like trade, and to privately move from one class to another without any dealer reporting legally, as it is a like-for-like exchange. So we do that all the time. And, of course, if you're locking in a loss or a gain or what have you, then you can sell it and then repurchase it if you don't want to do a swap. You can be creative as it pertains to physical precious metals. You can do the precious metals tax swap that probably a lot of your listeners don't know about. The 30-day wash rule is a securities violation. You're not allowed to sell a security of any form and then sell it, book a loss, and then buy it back. The IRS says that's a violation. You need to wait 31 days to buy that particular commodity back, or anything similar to it. Does not pertain to commodities. So,
right,
maybe you have some listeners who have a capital gain and they have some gold that they really don't want to part with, but they'd love to wash off some of that gain with a loss. Yet they don't want to sell their gold and not be able to buy it back. Well, the 30-day wash rule does not apply to commodities. So you have a client who sold, or a listener rather, who sold a piece of investment property, have a big capital gain. They could sell their gold bullion, book it as a loss, write it off against the capital gain, and then apply the proceeds to the acquisition of whether it be the same type of gold bullion they just sold or into numismatics with no paper trail legally because the loss in privacy in and of itself is writing out a check. And if you never wrote out a check or sent a wire to repurchase the numismatics or the gold bullion after the sale to book the loss, then really there's no paper trail pointing to the acquisition of those coins. So there's a lot of creativity we can help people with as it pertains to precious metals, and a lot of opportunity out there right now, frankly, that I have really never seen before as it pertains to getting real value for your dollar in things that typically cost a pretty decent premium.
Yeah, that is remarkable. I mean, yeah, you look at the fact that platinum is selling way below gold. I mean, at almost 3/4 the price, something we've never seen before. You look at the silver to gold ratio, over 70, and that's a number when usually something happens. Can't say what's going to happen, but something always happens when the ratio gets that far out of whack.
Typically, it moves in favor of silver.
Absolutely. Well, we have to kind of wrap it up now, Andy, and the sound kind of went haywire. But hey, find Andy over at milesfranklin.com. You can call them. Miles Franklin's been around forever. The only bullion dealer probably in the country that's actually licensed by the state of Minnesota, for better or for worse. But that does give you a lot of protection that you can't get from any other bullion dealer. So I urge you to go call Andy up at milesfranklin.com, send him an email, and if you're looking for bullion, and it's so strange, Andy, there's 5 opportunities here. You got platinum selling at a really depressed level. You've got junk silver, or some people call it constitutional. We're talking pre-1965 silver coins, U.S. coins, correct, right? And they're selling at basically little or no premium. And then you got numismatics selling at no premium or the same premium as regular bullion coins. I mean, this is a market that's unbalanced, and it's not going to last. So, Andy, hey, thanks for coming on. It's always great speaking with you, and we'll definitely be speaking with you again soon.
Kerry, I really do appreciate it. And if you'll just humor me with 30 more seconds.
Sure.
You touched on one thing, and I just want to say how important it is. State of Minnesota is the only state in the United States to regulate this federally non-regulated industry. We embrace those regulations. It's something that we feel gives us an advantage that, well, basically 100%, almost 100% of the national competition has boycotted the state of Minnesota because of the regulations, the licensing, and the bonding requirements that they would themselves would be subservient to. And to be honest with you, it is an awful lot for a company to have to abide by. But what it basically means is that people who buy gold from a company licensed and bonded in the state of Minnesota are buying precious metals from a company that is as regulated, insured, and bonded as a securities broker. And that in a federally non-regulated industry is beyond a game changer. So again, thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm sorry the sound was a little goofy, but I'm always happy to come back and chat with you anytime.
Absolutely. And yeah, you should take some solace. We've heard so many scams that have unfolded, 3 or 4 major scams in the past 5 years, Andy, with bullion dealers really besmirching the entire industry. And really making you, the client, feel nervous about who you're going to deal with. So the fact that there is a company that is licensed, that has a surety bond, a big surety bond out there, and is reputable. I mean, you guys never even had a Better Business Bureau complaint in nearly 30 years of business.
We've never had a registered complaint anywhere online. You spend all day looking. And as the owner of this company, I started when I was 19 years old, Kerry. It is a defining thing for me. It's my crowning achievement, something I'm very, very, very proud of, that we've never aggravated someone enough just to get online and write something nasty. So for what it's worth, it's something that we hold very dear and make sure that there won't be that first person. So in any case, thank you very, very much, Kerry.
Always.
I promise I'm always here if you need me.
All right, Andy. Hey, thanks so much. Hey, by the way, questions, comments, again, KL@KerryLutz.com. Twitter feeds @KerryLutz. Don't hesitate hesitate to tweet us. And the Facebook page is Financial Survival Network. Andy, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for being on.
You're the best in the business, Kerry. I mean that. Thanks, buddy.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.